Hey guys, welcome back to Arry The Stag. TR Tony here. Today's task, as you can probably see from my hands, is to replace the Triumph Stag battery. Now, this, in theory, should be a very simple job. People I've been talking to think I'm mad because modern cars, you just whip in and whip out and that's job done. However, in the Stag, it's a little bit more tricky. So I'm going to share with you some tips and the way I've done it. It's not professional, it's not perfect, I'm sure, but if it helps you get out of a hole and avoid some of the pitfalls, there's some big pitfalls you've got to watch during this video. So stay online, have a good look, and we'll show you how it all came together at the end. Fingers crossed. Now, the battery in this car has been very, very reliable, but unfortunately it seems to have given up the ghost. Not quite sure the reason for that. Checking the manual, it does advise on moving things like the power steering pump out of the way. You don't have to disconnect it, but you must make room so you can get the battery out. That's the big challenge with this car, unfortunately. So looking at the manual, it was good to check that out. Some say you can take the water bottle out and do it that way, but I chose not to. So here we are, we're in the engine bay, and as you can see, the power steering pump is very up close and personal to the battery, which is tucked right into that corner. The positive lead is on the left and the negative lead, earthing lead strap, is on the right, and you can see how close they are to those metal brackets that they provide for holding the battery stationary, which obviously it must be doing for fire regs and everything else. In an accident it mustn't be moving around, but you've then got these little wing nuts that tighten down that band to make sure that it stays in place, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Looking at the gap, as you can see here, you know, it is very, very tight. It doesn't take much imagination to see a spark jumping from one to another, but luckily it seems to work and has done for many years up until now. My challenge today now is to get the battery out and replace it with a new one. So let's jump in at the deep end, and there are 3 bolts holding the power steering pump to the engine. The silver one is like the fulcrum or the swivel, and the 2 brown ones are 1/2 inch, with the swivel one being a 14mm, just to mix up imperial with metric. It just seems to be the history of this car, unfortunately. So that was all good. The pump came out fairly easily. You have to lift it up and away, and I've held it up with a little bit of rope there tied around the turret to release so much more space, as you can see, around the battery compartment now, such that it hopefully will leverage out when we get to it. And it took a little while to do, but I took the contacts off, and the positive and the negative terminals, now you can see, are now exposed. The next job was to take the battery retaining strap or band off of the car, which again you've got to be a little careful with because it's held down with 2 of those wing nuts, and I was very, very concerned about not letting any of these wing nuts or the rods that are holding the battery band to the car slip down, especially this one on the inside of the wing, because lose that down there, you can have an awful lot of trouble trying to get it out again. But suffice to say, the positive side came off first, and I was trying to keep it all together in one piece and just pull the whole right hand side out there in one go, but that wasn't the case in the end. I just had to go for it and take both wing nuts off, and making sure that I did not drop that rod, especially on the right hand side. The left hand side one, you can see, is fairly accessible. It's a simple idea. It just goes through the body in a hole there with a little hook behind it, so that's quite simple, although it was very, very tight up against the battery, and we'll talk later about the type of battery that you need for this particular car, or you'll be in trouble. And interesting on this one, it's got a little box section tucked behind the inner wing area there for the rod to hook into. On mine, which is a Mark 1, there's actually just a hole on this part of the car, which is inordinately difficult to try and get in the hole and get everything manhandled and in the right area to make it happen. I did just quickly check the battery because I was a little bit concerned as to why it had suddenly packed up, and unfortunately you can't really easily open these batteries up. This is obviously one that you can put ionised water in to top up the levels, but apart from the second one in and possibly the first, it looked pretty much up together with full ionised water. So I just concluded that the battery has had its day and gone south. Now, when it comes to the actual battery itself, I mentioned it's got to be a certain size, and that's the reason. It's because it has such a tight space in the Stag. It's got to be a 069 type battery, 70 amp hour in this case. And as you can see, there are some subtle differences between the old one and the new one. Actually, the new one seems a lot slimmer and with less around it to foul on the bodywork. The battery terminals have to be the right way round. In other words, with the negative on the right hand side and the positive on the left hand side. There's a very handy fitting date marker there. You can see it's in charge. by the indicator condition it's green, so that means it's good and it's fully charged. If it had been black, then it would be charging necessary, and so it all looks pretty good. And there is the 70 amp hour 12 volt indicator, which matches the old one that came out of the car. So with all that said, we seem to be okay and ready to get that now back into there. The refitting is a reverse of the procedure we took to get it out, and within a few minutes actually it went in pretty easily, not too difficult at all. It was quite tight on the left hand side there, as the previous battery had been, just showing the importance of getting the right size battery to go in the hole such that you've got enough space to work around. And with the refitting of the strap, which took a bit of fiddling, but it did hook in on the right hand side, as I was a bit worried about. It took probably 20 minutes of fiddling about to hook it into that box section I showed you earlier, but tightening that up very quickly, the whole thing went in quite well. I was quite pleased with what had been done. And of course now the problem was I've got to put the power steering pump back in situ and make sure that that was all mounted correctly and in position to start the car. And there I found a bit of an issue, because Paul at Stag Classics had given me a new bracket for the pump, because I don't know if you can see there's some welding on that pump that had been bodged from before, so I had to look at that and get that done. Okay, so we've got the steering pump back in. You'll have noticed that the new side that Paul gave me was great, but the other side, the kind of standing face if you like, has still been welded, so I need to get another one of those, obviously as a temporary fix, just to keep this in line. I was trying to keep it in line with the bottom pulley. I've used a couple of extra washers just here to give it a little bit of a twist out, just so we're in line, it's not going to pull off. And just yeah, just so you know, we'll have a look at the base here. This is the one that came off. You can see here the horrible job they've done there on the welding, and if you look at it that way, you'll see that here and here, this is where so it pivots on the top here, pivots on there, and we've got sliding here and here. So those are the two bolts that allow you to slide upwards and downwards to get the right tension. That's your kind of anchoring bolt here. So hopefully now we just need to redo the terminals on the battery, and fingers crossed we can start the car. Okay, right, so I think we've pretty much got there. This was quite a fiddle. You've got to be so careful because these terminals are so close to the metal bracket here, so why would you make it metal in the first place, I asked myself. But that's very, very tight there, but I managed to use a little bit of rubber from an old bicycle inner tube actually, just to protect it whilst I got that on, tamped it down, made sure this was clear. So we're clear of there. We're also clear of the pulley on the steering pulley pump, the steering pump, and also on this side as well, you'll see there's some plastic insulation there that I've tucked under that was with this lead before, so we're not shorting on this metal bracket and we're nice and tight and not fouling. So fingers crossed, we're nice and tight on here. The pulley belt is slightly tight on the top side, slightly loose on the underside, but I think that'll even out once we get running. So I guess now is the acid test to see if we can start the old girl up. Fingers crossed, wish me luck. Okay, eyes down for a full house then, guys. Let's get into the car. Okay, right, we're in there. We've got rid of the security steering lock, and here we have the green key going into the ignition. Let's see if we've got some joy. Oh yes, we have some power, so that's a good news. That is very good news. Can't hear the fuel pump. That may be an issue. We'll have to look at that in a second. I started this a couple of days ago. I had to clack the fuel pump just to get it going. Let's have a little bit of choke, turn out. And as a tip, always keep your foot on the accelerator when you're doing that. It just makes that an easier function and saves the strain on the carb and the mechanism. I'll give it a go. I suspect the fuel pump's not working, but let's just try now. So live and dangerous. Here we go. Okay. Oh yes. Well, there we are. The fuel pump is working. After all, marvellous. That's a joy to my ears. That really is music to my ears. Okay, so job has been done. Let's have a look. We're on a little bit of choke to keep it ticking on. I was just worried about that power steering pump, but it does seem, those two washers do seem to have helped. I know it's not very professional, but I've got myself out of jail because of this fracture we've got here and the welding that's been done. I haven't got a spare part, but at least I'm up and running. That belt goes to the front cog. I had to look up one of my own videos to find out where that belt went, but that's all in line, running smoothly, and the steering wheel is working nicely. But look here guys, without losing my finger, look how close the battery is to the pulley. That's the issue. So it's going to be an 069 battery to fit the hole and to not foul or anything else. But anyway, job done. I'm going to go out for a test drive now. Wish me luck. And listen guys, I know this is a basic job. You can nip up Alfred's anytime you like, couldn't you, and get this fixed, so you would think. I do wonder if you took this car up there, what they'd say. They'd probably shoo you away after all the kerfuffle and the hassle. But we've got the engine going. It's drive it day tomorrow, so I'm going to go out and about and have a bit of fun in the car. And she sounds great, doesn't she? Alright guys, thanks for watching. It's been a really good job. Hope you've learned something from this video. I certainly have. And it's not easy, but we've done it, so that's really good. We'll see you online on Arry The Stag very soon. Cheers for now guys.